Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bond Armory. I'm Ray Crumpold and today we're going to be taking a look at the very first firearm to appear in James Bond's hands-on film. Chances are it's not the firearm you're thinking of. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Beretta M1934. So, the Beretta M1934. As the name would imply, 1934 is the date that the firearm was manufactured. Not to be confused with the Beretta M1935, which is a different caliber. Now, development was actually kind of a funny story. See, the Italian army was looking for a new, compact sidearm for their soldiers. They really liked the German Walther PP. Now, Beretta's an Italian firearms manufacturer, and they weren't about to let a German company get a contract with their own country's military. So, Beretta developed the M1934 and won the contract. So as I said in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at the very first handgun to appear in Bond's hands on screen. That means we have to go all the way back to Dr. No. We all know the famous scene when Bond gets issued his Walther PPK and M tells him to hand over that damn Beretta. Well, that damn Beretta is a reference to the Ian Fleming novels when Bond carried a Beretta 418. What you're seeing on screen is not a Beretta 418, however, it is an M1934. Now that's the first time we see it. We don't see the Beretta M1934 again until Thunderball. You know the scene when Felix comes in, almost says 007, but Bond stops him by punching him in the stomach? He sneaks into the bathroom, turns on the hot water. The shower assassin is actually carrying a Beretta M1934 as well. As always, we're going to take a closer look at the Beretta M1934 and then head to Free State Gun Range in Middle River, Maryland and test for accuracy. Let's take a look. The M1934 is a single-action semi-automatic pistol. It's chambered in 9mm short, also known as 9mm Curse, or as it's known in the US, 380 ACP. It's not to be confused with the M1935, which is essentially the same exact pistol, but chambered in 7.65mm, also known as 32 ACP. The M1934 has a 7-round magazine capacity and features a heel magazine release as well as a lanyard loop. If the M1934 looks familiar, it's probably because of its open slide design that's carried over into modern Beretta firearms such as their M9 series. Now let's load up some magazines and throw some lead down range and see just how well the Beretta M1934 does for accuracy. Alrighty, so we are back at Free State Gun Range. We have our target set out to 10 yards and we're going to shoot 50 rounds aiming for center mass as our usual accuracy test. Now I'm going to start this accuracy review on a positive note and say that the M1934 is a lot of fun to shoot. The felt recoil is absolutely minimal. I've shot a lot of 380s and this all-steel handgun balances weight and recoil exceptionally well. That's not to say I don't have some complaints. First, I don't know if it was this particular M1934 or not, but I struggled both placing and releasing magazines. This isn't the first handgun I've dealt with that used a heel magazine release, but this particular Beretta was clean and lubed prior to use, but it still stuck on me almost each and every time. There's a lot of factors at play when you're shooting for accuracy, especially with an older firearm. Obviously, the more use they have, the more wear and tear on the firearm. Things like loading the magazine and accuracy are affected by all that. Another thing to consider is shooter error. I may have just been having a really bad day at the range, but I really wasn't impressed with the M1934's accuracy. Normally I can hold a pretty tight spread, maybe a baseball size, sometimes tighter. I was a little all over the place. There was one good grouping and a handful of shots out of those 50 that were just spread all around the target. Now, I generally use a very high grip on most handguns, and doing that on the M1934 was absolutely regrettable. I had a mild case of slide bite after shooting, which I'll point out in a couple seconds, but it's still unpleasant when it happens. But like I said, it's a lot of fun to shoot, and still did the job. Oh, and there's my slide bite. Alright, let's bring in the target and take a look and see how we did. And there it is. As you can see, everything is center mass, but it's spread all over. Again, this is a compact firearm. It's not really meant to go reaching out and touching somebody, but the grouping is pretty bad. So now that we've shot for accuracy, I wanted to do something a little bit different. This is normally the part in the video where we do live fire, a trick shot, something like that. Well, Dr. No, there's so many different things happening. We've got the 418 mentioned in the novels, and referenced to in the movie. Then we see the 1934. He gets issued his PPK. So I thought it'd be interesting to take those three firearms and actually test them against each other as far as the calibers go. So one night while I was bored, I mixed up about 6 blocks of ballistic gel. And that's what we're going to be shooting at today. We don't have a Beretta 418. Mine's actually suffered a catastrophic failure, and I'm looking into getting a new one. But I do have a stand-in. It's a Beretta 21A, also known as a Bobcat. Same size, same caliber. So we're going to be shooting that in 25 ACP. We're going to have the M1934 in 380, and of course the PPK in 32. Let's see how they stack up against each other and see what kind of real-world damage they do to the ballistic gel. We're going to be shooting these in order as they appear, starting with the Beretta 21A, the M1934, and then of course the Walther PPK. The 21A is chambered in 25, the M1934 in 380, and the PPK in 32. Now you may notice the 21A and 25 and PPK and 32 are shooting ball ammo. We're going to be shooting the 380 and hollow point. First up is the 21A and 25. Now what you're going to look for is the impact on the gel. Now this is regular speed. Blink and you might have missed it. Let's slow it down and take a closer look. And there's our impact. It barely moved. Now we're actually going to slice the gel open so you can see the wound channel. The 25 ACP pierced through the gel like a laser. Perfectly straight line, no fragmentation. That's expected from ball ammo. Let's see what a hollow point 380 does. There's our impact. Big difference. The gel probably hopped off the table about 4 inches and then moved back another 3. Now if we look at the wound channel, you can see it's much more jagged. Now that's because of the hollow point. All those little specks that you actually see in there as well are part of the jacket of the bullet. That's why hollow points are preferred ammunition for personal defense. And now our PPK in 32. Here comes the impact. And a little bit of a hop. Let's slow it down. Very similar to the 380. Now this is with ball ammo, not hollow point. And there's our wound channel. Very close to that 25. It's a little bit thicker, but still that straight line, and as I said, that's expected with ball ammunition. So now you get to see the actual reality of these three handguns and the calibers that they shoot. But we're not done. I wanted to do something else. We had all that leftover ballistic gel. We decided to cut it up and stack it against each other to make one long piece. Now, most recently in Spectre, there's a really cool firearm. It's called the Dueler Prismatic, and it's used by henchman Hinks. Now that shoots two .45 caliber rounds simultaneously. You might remember the scene when Bond's in the plane and there's punching these giant holes in the side of it. That's a little far-fetched, but it is a very powerful round. Let's see what one bullet of .45 caliber can do to the ballistic gel.
I think it stopped right there. I think it stopped right there. It stopped.
That is absolutely ridiculous. There's a world of a difference between those calibers, the 25, 32, and 380 versus that 45. Now when the bullet strikes the ballistic gel and blows it all over the place off the table, that's what people refer to as stopping power when it comes to firearms. And like I said, there's a world of a difference, but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with those other three calibers. In fact, the 380 is one of the most popular calibers for concealed carry weapons. I personally carry a PPK chambered in .32. Carry what you're comfortable with. Don't let anybody tell you differently. A bullet is a bullet. You could carry a .22. Whatever works for you. Now, I'm going to give you some closing thoughts on the M1934. It's a very fun handgun to shoot. It really is. It's chambered in .380, and it's compact in size, which might make it a good carry weapon, and maybe an option for you. It does have that historic value from being pre-World War II and issued to the Italian Army, not to mention the Bond connection. It's also the predecessor to the whole Beretta M9 series. All in all, it's a good gun. I do like it. Like I said, it's really fun to shoot. .380 is kind of an inexpensive ammunition as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Bond Armory.